Do you feel like you're being called to awaken your Kundalini, or maybe you've just started to feel a tingling at the base of your spine or somewhere else in your body and are wondering what Kundalini is all about? I'm going to share with you my story of awakening my own Kundalini as an intuitive guide and psychic channeler, as well as my understanding of Kundalini that's come through my own channel, intuition, and memories, as well as some reference materials. If you're new here, I'm Liana. I'm a channeler and priestess for Divine Mother energies and an intuitive guide. And I want to start out, I'm not a Kundalini facilitator. I don't work one-on-one with Kundalini unless you come to me with that specific question or concern. I can absolutely do that. And I do not consider myself an expert on Kundalini at all. Again, I'm just sharing my experience with awakening my own Kundalini, sharing the story, and what I know about Kundalini as an intuitive, as a psychic, from reference materials, and from my own memories and experiences. So I also want to get into this because there's always a lot of hype around Kundalini in certain communities. And it could be for extreme healing, it could be for extreme spiritual experiences, or it could be because you think it is what is needed to progress on your journey. And I personally do not buy into the pressure to awaken or raise your Kundalini fully unless you are feeling called to, unless you feel ready to. So I want to start by saying I don't think it should be a check box on your list of things to do, but something that you're called to do when it's right for you. And that can be in any way. It can be with a facilitator, it can be on your own, it can be spontaneously. And I also want to say that you can work with these energies without having the intense Kundalini experience that you hear about. So Kundalini, to me, what you hear talked about most times is the feminine life force, the Shakti. I actually see Kundalini as a three-part equation. So I see it as Shakti, the feminine life force, Shiva, the consciousness or spirit or divine mind. And I also see it as the third, which is the merging of the two, which opens your creation energy in a stronger capacity. So you can work with Shakti, life force, and you can work with Shiva and consciousness, of course, without having an intense Kundalini experience. You can have more of a gentle raising. You could just be more tapped into those energies and be working with them already. All of us already are, but it's just the integration of the two that might not have been experienced yet. So a full Kundalini awakening, or the rising and integration of these two energies, unifies them and activates the third force, creation energy, heart energy, at a more potent level. So what was my Kundalini awakening like? I first felt my Shakti at the base of my spine during a group event I was attending in Colorado. Thought it was because of Qigong. It was actually because of something else. And an energy cluster of electric tingles in my back. And I knew what Kundalini was. I'd heard, some cautions against spontaneous Kundalini awakenings, and I knew about the glamorous sort of viewpoints about Kundalini as well. But I never sought it out. I never felt like it was something I needed to do or something to focus on. After that first feeling, I would feel my Shakti off and on for the next 5 months. And it took me 5 months to feel called to raise it fully. During this time, I was aware that my Kundalini was preparing to fully awaken. During meditations or other experiences, I could feel light running down my spine more fully, or up my spine. I had experiences with Mary Magdalene, doing some of her magic on my life force and my womb area. And I was still following my own healing journey to release, unblock, and heal more. And before this, I had worked on physical and emotional healing through more traditional means, through my own shadow work and other ways. So I was called to awaken my Kundalini fully on my 34th birthday at my birth time. So this is a very specific story for me, and it took me an hour and a half to line it up with my birth time. I did this through spiral movements, starting at my hips and moving them up slowly as I felt the energy rise. I had help from Shakti herself and many goddesses. Visually, what I saw while I was doing this was very much what you hear referenced. I saw two snakes of light moving up my body, one anchoring at the front in the third eye and one anchoring at the base of my skull and the top of my spinal column. And I've since seen Kundalini energy as more of an integration of life force in your whole field and in your whole body. And the reason I'm sharing this is because a lot of people go looking for their Kundalini awakening, trying to activate it before it's time. And some people have spontaneously awakened without trying. And that can all be part of their path. But you don't often hear stories of people knowing it was coming for months and waiting for the call to fully awaken it on their own. And I'm also sharing this because I know that this year is a powerful one for Kundalini awakenings, spontaneously and being called to do so. And this is because the Earth's life force is rising, more consciousness is flowing into Earth in greater amounts. And as Earth's energy shifts, so do we. And I also feel that there are some things left out of the conversation about Kundalini energy. And again, while I'm no expert, one of the biggest misconceptions that I see is that we're only talking about the feminine life force and not what it needs to rise fully. So of course, Shakti is the powerhouse here, the divine body, but she's only one part of three. And forcing the Shakti to rise before she is ready, before she is supported and feels safe, is often a reason some experience a very disruptive or even psychosis-inducing Kundalini awakening. And I've talked before about how internally the feminine rising needs a grounded masculine in order to fully rise in her full force and her full expression. And so for Kundalini, this means that Shiva, divine mind, and consciousness needs to move through the body enough, bringing light and awareness to wounds or energy that needs healing or releasing. And for this shadow work, healing, or integration to take place, he must also anchor into the body. And this is your spirit and your light. And if Shakti rises before this process is complete or before it's been done enough, because of course, more healing can continue after your Kundalini rises, she can create an environment where your consciousness tries to rapidly catch up, throwing light and awareness on all of your darkness, all of your unhealed parts at once. Or she creates a magnetic pull that draws in energy you don't yet have the tools or discernment or protection to deal with, which can of course lead to further healing and growth if you allow yourself to be aware of this, but maybe in a way that wasn't necessary or fully aligned for you. So when Shakti rises in her full heart, Shiva meets her in his full heart, unifying the opposites within you and unleashing your full creative force. So this, in my opinion, is what creates a truly balanced and unlocked heart field with infinite potential. And from my own memories and knowings, this is how I see Kundalini. So when you have healed your body and field enough and have integrated your spirit, your divine mind into the body, and your Kundalini awakens, it rises, it connects to your heart and goes up and beyond your heart, integrating and merging your divine body, which is how I say express divine feminine, integrating your divine body with your divine mind. It aligns you with all, with love, with oneness, allowing more of your consciousness and spirit to flow through the body and be manifested by you through your body, through expression, through creation, through giving. When your Kundalini awakens and you're stable, you will honor and you will feel more connected to yourself and to the world around you and to the cosmos. So then why do some people have disruptive, challenging Kundalini awakenings? There can be lots of reasons, some of those being unresolved emotional and psychological trauma. Like I said, if you have that, consciousness can be trying to catch up and trying to rapidly heal you, which means that your attention needs to be on all of those unresolved issues. And it also amplifies those emotions, those fears, those wounds. Forcing the awakening, if you're not ready, can be an issue because your body, your soul, your spirit is not stable enough yet to fully accommodate it. You lack grounding or embodiment. You may have energetic blocks, which cause the energy to get stuck in certain spaces of your body, chakras, energy centers. And the other one is if you don't have the correct intentions, or you're going into it for maybe a quick fix or a very specific reason that is not fully aligned with yourself and what you need, or you set yourself up for disappointment in a way. You could experience disruptive energies, disruptive experiences from that. My ultimate advice from my own experience is to wait until you feel called. And that does not mean to wait until you need to do it, until you feel called when you're in a hotel room in Florida by yourself, which is where I was. But to know that you are ready to embark on a Kundalini awakening, unless it happens spontaneously, which obviously you can't control. And there's probably a higher purpose why you had a spontaneous awakening, to put you on another path. But if you can, wait until you feel called. Follow your unique path and know that at some point, if you desire to have a Kundalini awakening and to experience that oneness, it will come to you when it is time. And then focusing on the basic skills that you need, like discernment and protection, and knowing yourself and your own soul. I'd love to hear your own experiences with Kundalini below. Thank you for watching. Hope this was helpful. I'll see you next time.